Hello everyone, it was a new day in Tokyo and time for breakfast. This restaurant was called Cafe Renoir and not too far from Ueno Station. A nice quiet place with a great view outside. We found a great spot not far from our hotel with a good menu, which was to be important as we would be spending a full day exploring Ueno Park's Tokyo National Museum and the Tokyo Metropolitan Art Museum. My breakfast consisted of a chicken sandwich, yogurt, and the soup was a pepper soup, which I did like. Our first destination was the Tokyo National Museum, but we got delayed. As you know by following our channels, we do love nature.
Yeah, I think she's laying eggs.
Oh.
Yeah.
You can find nature everywhere if you just look. The Tokyo National Museum was established in 1882 and is Japan's oldest and largest museum, which you do get a sense of as you walk in. The museum houses one of the largest collections of art and archaeological artifacts in Japan and consists of 6 separate buildings. Unfortunately, today we only had time for 2. And those 2 were the main gallery, seen here, also known as the Honkan, and the Toyokan, or Eastern Antiquities Gallery next door, which displays Asian art from India, China, Korea, and Southeast Asia. I like this clay figure. The potter has created a raccoon dog that has transformed himself into a Buddhist monk. Its function was to cover a fireplace that were built into the floor of traditional homes. This section holds a collection of Ainu artifacts. The Ainu are an ethnic group of indigenous peoples living in Japan's northern islands and have been occupying these areas since before the arrival of modern Japanese. Incidentally, we did notice that most Japanese people walk straight through this section, not stopping at all, which I did find sad. Here is an example of a pair of old grass shoes once worn, and a pair of snowshoes which would have been familiar to us Canadians today. These garments are traditional Ainu robes, which I believe were spun from the inner bark of an elm tree. Looking at it, you'd be forgiven for believing it was created from regular cotton or wool. A display showing a quiver and arrows made from wood and bone. And this is not a type of crossbow, but actually a trap which was used to capture small animals. For me, this is one of the more fascinating places within the museum. These are terracotta clay figurines called hanawa and are from the Kofun period of Japan, which was roughly 300 to 338 AD. It is believed that they were made for ritual use and buried with the dead as funerary objects. This one here is a representation of a house. And the stone figure here is a representation of a warrior with some spirituality in the background. This is a ceramic coffin that was found in Mimesaki City, Japan during archaeological excavations. They also have on display actual riding gear of the period, which were found at various archaeological sites in Japan. After touring a fairly extensive collection on the first floor, we moved up to the second. There's not as much up here, but they still have a few fascinating pieces. This painting from 1909 did catch my eye. It depicts a night scene at a train station lit by lamplight where an exhausted woman rests near her elderly father. This scroll represents a scene from the book The Tale of Genji, and this is the imperial palanquin used by past emperors. Unfortunately, I was not able to determine when it was last used or if it could have come out for the last coronation a few years back. After seeing everything in the main gallery, we stopped for lunch at a nearby restaurant before continuing on. A traditional Japanese menu which had a good selection. I ordered a type of tonkatsu or breaded pork cutlet over rice. Our next destination was the Toyokan, or Eastern Antiquities Gallery, which is right beside the last museum. I find a lot of visitors go to the Honkan only and not the Toyokan, which is too bad. The Toyokan has an impressive collection of art and antiquities from various regions in Asia, and my video only shows a small portion of what they have to offer here. The building has 3 floors above ground and 1 basement floor, so once again, make sure you give yourself enough time to properly view everything. The gallery holds pieces that are mainly Buddhist in nature, but not exclusively, as seen by examples of ancient Egyptian artifacts shown here. On display here is a money tree from Han Dynasty, China.
More like that. Oh. 2 same 2 0022 0022 0022 here 0022 you will succeed. Congratulations.
Donna's luck was a little better than mine, but it was great experiencing this ancient form of entertainment that had connections to the old Silk Road. From there, we went over to the Tokyo Metropolitan Art Museum to view what I thought were some very inspirational paintings, a type that I don't normally see. In a mission to promote the advancement of art, the museum is best known for its temporary exhibitions of not just Japanese, but also international art from abroad. As I understand, the paintings we saw that day were new works from contemporary Japanese artists associated with art groups or young students within the education system. Overall, I was very impressed with the talent that was on display here. Some pieces were very novel and innovative. If I had to pick one, this was one of my favorite paintings on that day. Donna liked this painting of the yak, but for me, I like this one of the mother and daughter. We were also asked to take a picture for some visiting tourists. As I walked among the art on display, I found an interesting blend of more modern themes found in Japan, but also very traditional as well. This piece being interesting again, where you can see both the old and new influences. This was another one of my favorites. And a very different and novel painting. I also took some close-ups of select paintings to show the incredible detail that went into some of these. And another example here, which I suspect took some time to create. There was a lot of inspirational paintings that day showing real talent. This is Yellowstone National Park, which came as a surprise. I was not expecting to see a familiar subject, and it did stand out among the others. So that was a full day of visiting just these 3. I hope you enjoyed this small tour of a few museums at Ueno Park in Tokyo. Thanks so much for watching.